Hey y'all, what's going on Facebook? Tremaine, Mr. Hard Pivot is live again today. I was gonna start what I call my mindset moments, and the topic was gonna be different, but I had a couple calls this morning from some people who ended up joining the company, and they are going through some things as far as how people are, their family and friends are kind of looking at them becoming entrepreneurs. This is something that most entrepreneurs know that happens. It's a mindset thing, and we know that this happens. So what I'm going to do is I want to start the mindset moment, and the topic will be entrepreneur is a different journey. So prepare yourself. Entrepreneurship is a different journey, so prepare yourself. And from here on out, the mindset moments won't start with all of this extra rhetoric. It'll just jump right in and jump out because they're mindset moments. But I had to preface it with that today. So with that being said, entrepreneurship absolutely is a different journey, so you must prepare yourself. And so here's what's interesting, and I have my notes. I like to stay on task here. Let's say you're a fireman, and you've worked 3 or 4 days. Firemen have those crazy shifts where they work 24-hour days and stuff like that. But let's say they've worked 3 or 4 days, and they come home at night, 11:30, and at 12 they get the call to say, hey, we need you to come back in for another 10-hour shift. So they have to do that. They kiss their wife and they say, hey, I have to go back to work. When we hear that, we say, oh, we understand that because that's his job. He's a fireman. All right. So we get that, right? So let's say you're on the road. You're a professional baseball player, and you play for 172 days out of 365 days of the week. You're a professional baseball player. People understand that. They say, hey, he's a professional baseball player, so that's cool. That's what you understand, right? So like when you're in the military, and shouts out to all my military brethren and sisters out there, appreciate y'all. So when you're in the military, of course, you can't make everybody's wedding. You can't, make the bar mitzvahs, the funerals, the anniversaries, because most of the time you're like out of the country, you're across seas and stuff like that. So we definitely understand that. People, friends, family and friends understand that. They say, hey, that's their job. So even when you're a working person, you work a job, work 2 jobs. Hey, when I worked 2 jobs, I had a full-time, part-time job, going to college, stuff like that. What you got was, hey, that person's, it's a certain level of adoration and respect that you get with that. And at worst, they say, hey, we don't get to see you a lot, but hey, man, much props to you. You're working, you're taking care of your family. That's what you should do. So now, with all of that being said, when you get your own business or you become an entrepreneur, you don't get, a lot of times you don't, people don't want to tell you nothing. So see, if I tell my friends, I'm doing a training this upcoming Sunday afternoon, so I won't be able to catch the football game with you or come to that party or something like that. A lot of the time, first thing out of their mouths is, so that's more important than our friendship. And that's not the case. It's the fact that this date came before that one, period. That's all. So at the end of the day, let me wrap this up by saying this, and this is to my new business owners and entrepreneurs. This is why this is a mindset moment, because you have to understand that entrepreneurship is not personal. A lot of people take it personal, and it's absolutely not personal. People around you are going to take it personally because you're going to change. At the end of the day, what you'll come to realize is that the 5 people that you're closest to, and you hear this in a lot of different ways, the 5 people that you are around the most, that are closest to you, that affect your life personally, are going to do one or 2 things. They're going to be a circle of success, or they're going to be a cage. There's no way around it. You look at the 5 people that you hang around the most, they have to fall in one of those 2 categories. And sometimes you have to look at yourself and say, hey, which one am I? Are you a circle of success for the people that you're around? Or are you a cage for that person? So, but that's a whole nother mindset. We'll get to all those types of topics later on. But just know that entrepreneurship, the key that I want you to take with you today is entrepreneurship is not personal. So yeah, if you're going to miss some graduations, some weddings, some anniversaries, some bar mitzvahs, at the end of the day, that's fine. See, because society put that stigma on the common person not missing all of this stuff, because all of that is about money. That's big business. So if we all started looking at that differently, that takes away from big business. But again, that's a whole nother mindset moment. We'll get to that. So like if I were in the military and I couldn't get back from overseas and I missed some things, and again, people would say, hey, We understand he's working. That's the way it is. Perfect example. I'm an NBA fan. I like watching basketball. The 2020 finals, those players had to do something unprecedented this year. They ended up going to play in what they called a bubble for 30, 45, 90 plus days. For those that made it to the NBA finals, they missed a whole lot of things. Some of those guys have newborn kids, 1, 2, 3-year-old. They missed the first steps. They missed all of that. But everybody looks at that and say, that's fine. That's the business that they're in. They're professional athletes. So that's excusable, right? Well, for some reason, you got to understand, I want you to understand is that entrepreneurs do not get that same type of love. And you really need to know that. Entrepreneurship is a totally different journey. Here's why. We use the military again for an example. In the military, it's guaranteed that you're going to get a check for the most part. Pretty much guaranteed by the government. The United States government makes sure those guys get their money. When you go to college, you work a job, work 2 jobs. That's supposed to be guaranteed as well because that's what you're supposed to do, right? So again, people believe in you. They believe in that because of that check. They see the money. They see the results. People believe in that. Family and friends believe in that. The fireman that goes to put his life on the line all the time, that has to sleep during the day. Most of the time, those guys have to sleep during the day. A lot of the times, they miss things. But again, they get that pass because they get that check as well. So people, family and friends, believe in them. The reason some people make you feel guilty when you become an entrepreneur is that because they don't believe in you. They don't know if whatever you're doing is going to actually work. In other words, they feel, you're missing the weddings and the bar mitzvahs and the parties and the graduations and all these ceremonies, and they're not sure if your business is going to even be successful, if it's going to even succeed, if you're going to make it. So, with that being said, to my entrepreneurs and my business owners, you know what you have to do, right? You have to make sure your business is going to work. Just know that the entrepreneurs don't get the luxury of total support from everybody around them. That's just the way it is, because they don't believe that you're going to stick around long enough and follow through with the business, because unfortunately, statistically, a lot of business owners and businesses fail, some more than others, but they don't believe you're going to follow through and be successful. So they say, well, if you missed all of this and then you gave up on yourself and you gave up on your own business and you still missed the baby's first steps and the bar mitzvah and the graduation, people are mad at that point. All right. But just know that when you stay diligent and you actually become successful, and staying diligent means understanding certain mindset and principles that you're going to have to adapt, because personal growth is a huge portion of being successful in business. So you're going to have to adapt some certain mindsets and be around those people that can help push you and foster your personal growth. That's just the way it is. But just know that when you do stay diligent and become successful, all anybody is going to have for you, all they're going to have for you is respect, love, and they're just going to be proud of you at the end of the day. All right, so with that said, we want to try to keep these mindset moments down to a minimum. So, Mr. Tremaine Hard Pivot, I am out of here. But as always, remember this: I don't know you, but I believe in you. So why don't you? Mr. Hard Pivot out.